another quick video review for the Acolyte episode 7. No, 6. My bad. Ooh. Whoa. Sorry, we got 2 more episodes left after this. So let's just jump right to it. This episode has a lot of wasted time, not gonna lie. So, we start off. Osha wakes up. She's in a cave, kind of wondering what the hell's going on. She checks the water, smells it. Okay, it's fine. All right. Sees there's some soup cooking, so she's like, okay, I must be with somebody. Somebody's here. And as it continues on, she's kind of venturing out of that little cave, looks around. She's on an unknown planet. And again, this was the planet that we saw in the first episode where Smilo Ren was basically telling May, you know, to become an acolyte, you need to kill a Jedi without using any weapons, basically. And this kind of goes into a whole spiel where she's looking around the island. She finally walks down this little path kind of towards the shore, and then she sees Amir walking to a watering hole, if you want to call it that. And well, we get this scene here. We got this scene right here where a lot of people start being like, I thought we were watching Star Wars, not House of the Dragon, not Game of Thrones and shit, but yet, oh, Lord forbid, you know, we have any attractive females dressed attractively or beautifully or anything like that. No, but we're definitely going to have men shirtless, and for this case, basically getting naked to take a bath. And he's in there for maybe oh wait, I'm not even showing the fucking, Jesus Christ, this fucking scene. But whatchamacallit, he's not even in there for more than 5 minutes before, you know, he swims out to that little portion in the back. And then as Osha sees his lightsaber there, he grabs it and then gets it ready. And then he goes, you know, blah, blah, blah. He basically kind of gives an excuse for why he did what he did. And, you know, he tells her, oh, if you want to have a better swing when you're walking, raise your left elbow higher, stuff like that. And basically just taunting her. And he gets out of the water. And we get this scene where it's just,
stay where you are.
You're not gonna join me. I like to put my clothes back on.
and she's looking at him. And
I'm wondering if it's honorable to kill me like this.
Stay where.
again, right, what you know, there was a case or a situation where Harvey Weinstein had told an upcoming actress to basically come to my room, whatever, and we'll talk things through. Guess what? He opens up the fucking door and he's got a robe on, but it's open and his little bits are just dangling there. Who would have thought Leslie Headland would take such inspiration and put it in her show? Not to mention, she's already mentioned that this show is basically like a therapy session between her and her sister. So, she even finds it funny. Nobody really understands what's going on except me. How crazy. Yeah, because it's just a self-inserted fucking version of your situation, I guess you could say, your story, put into a Star Wars fucking theme, right? Ridiculous. And then I'll get onto this later, but hey, Star Wars problem is the fans. It's always the fans, not all the people that have helped helped this franchise get as big as it was. No, the fans didn't do shit. So we got scenes like that, and it's just kind of baffling that, you know, we don't even get to see Kilnaka really do anything other than get killed by this fucking guy. So, yeah, there's that. Some other things that is crazy about it. So obviously he mentioned, you know, if you're not gonna get in here, I like to put my clothes back on. She's like, this is so weird, especially for Star Wars. We never had any of that stuff in Star Wars before. Now you're just, here you go. After that, they basically head back to the cave, and he's telling her, well, if you want to make it to the ship, you better start swimming before sundown, or you might make it by sundown. And she contemplates, looks at the ship that's across the fucking to the next little island, and she doesn't take the chance. So it's just like, oh, okay, the seeds are growing that she's going to be falling into temptation, since this week's episode is, I think it's called Truth and Deceit. Might be wrong on that one. Hold up. See what it is called. The episode. No. Teach and Corrupt. So you got that stuff going on, right? And then as we move forward, we cut to May and Sol back on the ship, and he just barely left the planet. He's just up in space right now, and he's trying to reach the council and stuff like that, but he's having some kind of radio interference for whatever reason. This is me from the future editing and adding in some tidbits I kind of forgot in the previous video I made with the Acolyte. So for one, I don't know if I brought it up already, but I'll make sure I'd say it now. The fact that May, already had said in 2 episodes prior that she was going to turn herself in. She already showed in the last episode she was willing to kill Jackie, but then failed. And then now you have her in this episode where she basically has all the chances in the world to stab, Sol. Doesn't do it. And I know it's kind of reiterating things that we should have already known, but just for the people that are watching this review instead of the other ones, that's why it's redundant and kind of ridiculous on how she behaves. The whole flip-flop so easily. At first, we kind of think that it's May messing up the fucking transponder or the telecommunication, but no, she's not doing anything. It's just miraculously messing up. So he goes to reset it, turns it off, turns it back on, and then goes to try and take the message. Meanwhile, he tells May that take the wheel real fast. And before that, she was gonna fucking stab him, but instead of stabbing him after he turns his back, she just takes the wheel. So it's just like, huh? After that, you have a little bit of a thing where Sol comes back, goes back onto the wheel or whatever, and then all of a sudden it messes up again, and this time the whole ship basically shuts off. So it's just like, okay, if it's not her, then what the fuck is going on? Why is the ship just this fucking broken all of a sudden, right? And he keeps saying, I want to tell you what actually happened. There's so much I need to tell you, and just he keeps saying that when he could just say it, and he doesn't. So she leaves. He tells her, oh, you should be able to fix it, right? Because he knows that she's a mechanic. Well, that doesn't happen, right? She's not actually Osha, so she can't have any of that knowledge. But so she goes into the other room, and she finds Basil there. Basil is obviously just like, I can smell that you're not Osha, you're the other fucking one. So for some reason, May's now starting to try and be nice and cutesy with Basil, and he's not having it, so he tries to like fucking stomp her leg and beat her up and shit like that, and then runs away. But he had first put Pib on like a little docking station to, I guess, to recharge or something like that. And after that, Pib like fucking shoots oil in her eye or something like that, and so she gets pissed and just miraculously knows how to factory reset Pib. You just ding, ding, like a fucking phone, right? Stupid. So after Pib gets factory reset, he goes from a little white light on his eyes, or whatever you want to call it, to red. So now I guess you can indicate he's on the dark side. I don't know. I'm just... From there on, basically we go back to what's going on with Sol, where he's still trying to figure out what's going on. And just as May's coming back, he basically tells her, or she's basically, Sol is basically saying like, you've always had Pip taking care of him, this and that. I always love that about you, the way you care and love people and other things, even if they weren't sentient. And then from there, she basically says, I had to endure a lot with the loss that I had. I was talking about her family and all this stuff, but she's just pretending to be Osha, but she's not actually Osha. And then from there, we move on to the ship turning back on, and then she goes to try and respond to the transponder thing again. But this time, when she tries answering it, fucking Sol stuns her with the stun gun. So just like, okay, well, and this was just after Basil and them kind of all met each other just before they entered the little ship bay. So then it's just like, okay, well, did Sol know it was May the whole time, or did he only just find out through Basil? Because if he didn't know it was May, which would be kind of hard because he should be able to fucking sense her intentions and all that. It's just very sloppy, right? And credit where credit's due, at least Sol, the actor that plays Sol, Squid Game actor, right? He's at least able to emote some sadness and other feelings in his face, while May and Osha, they're just fucking monotone all the fucking time. Ridiculous. So from there on, I would say we cut to the Corazon, the Jedi Temple, and Leslie Headland's wife, the green chick, basically says, well, she was talking to a senator or whatever about some stuff, and then her apprentice, or Padawan, basically comes in saying like, we have some issues. The communication was kind of messed up, but the last thing we heard from Sol was that it was a little fuzzy, but I think he said his whole team was gone. And so he's like, well, where are they? And then she's just basically like, oh, I know where they're at. I sent them there. So she's now heading towards the fucking planet. And then we cut back to Osha, who's just talking to Kylo Ren, whatever. Come here about, I'm not so easily corrupted. And Kamir and Osha are just basically having like back and forth between each other about like Jedi's intentions and other stuff like that. And you should be able to use the Force. It doesn't go away. There's another way about it. Basically the dark side, right? But he's trying to like woo her to his side. And he even says that, the prime emotions, anger, hate, fear, and other things like that allow you to keep the Force basically sustainable. But if you stick with the Jedi teachings, it diminishes after a while. So he even says that the power of two. So obviously talking about like a master and an apprentice. But as it goes on, right, she's still not really falling for it at this point. Then forget why she was heading outside, or why he was heading outside. She follows him with the lightsaber, threatens to basically kill him. Like, she lights it up, has it on his neck, but then he's just like, why did you leave the Jedi Order? And at that point, another key segment that I'm not sure if I mentioned it well enough was the fact, so this is with Osha and Kamir, the fact that they had Osha had all the chances to run away, but chose not to, obviously clearly shows whether she's, hypnotized with a spell that Kamir is using the Force to manipulate her or something like that. It's just not really stated. But the main issue is, well, for one, she points the goddamn lightsaber at him at the beginning like a fucking gun. It's not gonna do anything, and it's not a blaster. And then when Osha and Kamir are arguing about like why did you leave the Jedi Order, other things like that, Kamir is basically saying that I killed Yord because he tried to arrest you, falsely accused you. And she's like, how do you know about that? That was between the Jedis. And then like, maybe he's reading her mind. Okay, fine. But she doesn't really give much pushback on all these arguments. If she really felt strongly about wanting to be a Jedi and other things like that, especially because she's still willing to not kill him, and she's clearly shown that she's not a Jedi anymore, and he even states it himself. So why not just cut off his head there and then? Like, if these people that you cared about enough died in front of you, and you still have the predator right there in front of you, you don't slash him down, hack him up or whatever. What fucking purpose is this dialogue? It really serves a disservice to Osha that she doesn't fight harder on what he's saying. And then the thing with Jackie, you think that she would love you, or they wouldn't even condone it, basically, because Jedi stuff. Obviously, from Leslie Headland's point of view, this is more acceptable that, some of these Jedi might do things that are against the code. For instance, they're not even telling things to the Senate. They're just kind of keeping hush-hush. So obviously the Jedi in this time seemingly are a little bit more corrupt. They're supposed to be, I guess, but it just lots of leaps in logic right there. And then I already mentioned last time how it's weird that she's when Kamir basically tries to say, well, if you're not gonna get in the water with me, I'll put my clothes back on. It's just like, that's really predatory. And I mean, like I said, it just seems like Leslie's telling stories based off her history. And then finally, the kind of thing that people have kind of gone away from, obviously practical effects, but there used to be, I guess you would call it gear porn, or this type of thing where you see a man working on something physically, and it's like, for instance, in Iron Man 1, and then obviously how they don't do it in the later movies. You got Iron Man actually soldering, his equipment, and it's practical that he's actually doing all this stuff. You see it, and you're able to believe, okay, this guy knows what he's doing, because you see him physically having to put this stuff together, wield it, all that good stuff, right? But then in this one, when you have Kamir basically doing touch-ups to his helmet, if this thing is able to bounce off fucking lightsabers, how are you able to repair this thing? And for a material that's well known to be brittle, how are you, like, give some more fucking explanation. Don't just pull out a little lightsaber torch thing and then start working on it, because it shouldn't work. By your fucking logic that you've displayed, it should not work. And we've gone away from, again, they've made it more of a female mindset show and movie and series and things like that, where it's more about the people, the persons, right, the interactions that they have, instead of like what it used to be, the machines, and then a problem they gotta fix. There's a reason why in early days Iron Man, his suits would always fucking break, and then he had to fix them, and then yeah, he would be good for the next movie, but then even by that one, he still that suit at the beginning would break, and so now he needs to come up with another idea to fix his problem. You don't have that in this. It's just talk. This is my problem. Okay, this is what we're going. Okay, blah blah, bye. Like, they cut out what made obviously a Star Wars a male-dominated brand, and starting to inject it with things that don't correlate with the source material that was given prior. It just seems like the world building in it. I'm gonna really dog on it because it's fucking ridiculous. They're on the outer rim when they go to Kofar or whatever, where Kanaka died. How are they able to teleport basically from? Oh my god, I'm already fucking messing up the name. Hold up. How are they able to get from Coruscant to the Outer Rim in just a few hours, or even like within an hour or two, when that would normally take them a week to 5 days, just going hyperdrive, hyperspace and stuff like that? Somehow all of a sudden they're just able to boom, we're there. Okay, because there's no sense of immersion in the scale of the world or the galaxy, right? It's just, now we can just teleport from here to there. There's no reason for a transponder and stuff. And obviously the ridiculousness that Soul's ship just seemingly breaks at all the good points when he's trying to like deliver a message back to the council. Hey, my whole team died. Also, by the way, there's a Sith Lord that's here. Yeah, he's the one that killed us all. No, you don't say that. You fucking wait until the end of the show or the end of the fucking episode, and now Leslie Headland's wife, the fucking green chick, having to show up and trying to figure this all by herself, when it's just like, if you just told her from that very first message, hey, a Sith is what appeared and killed all my people, okay, then they would be, okay, we got to figure out what's going on here. Who is this mysterious person? All they know, they were attacked by some wild animals. Just, or accusing Soul of being the person that might have killed them all. Like, obviously they're trying to add some mystery still to it, but I think they're doing it in the most illogical way possible. So that was my little segment I'm adding in. And he's like, they made you, right? And she's like, no, I left on my own free will. And then, he's just like, no, I was there too a long time ago. But mind you, this guy's like in his mid-20s, late 20s. Couldn't have been that long unless for some reason his species somehow ages very slowly. It just wouldn't make sense, right? So his excuse is like, I've lost everything, and that's why that's why I got out of the Jedi Order, basically. And then he's trying to like relate to her in the same situation she's in. She ends up fucking turning off the lightsaber, and again, all this, she's not an actual Jedi anymore, so she could just kill him, and she saw him kill all her friends. Why hasn't she killed him at this point? For plot. And then we move on from there to green skinned lady who lands on whatchamacallit, Kofar, and just as that happens, just before she arrives on the planet, Sol takes off into hyperspace and turns off his communication, and so obviously green skin chick whatever doesn't really know what's going on, because you got Sol just left the atmosphere, and then green skin chick just comes into the atmosphere, lands, and they're kind of exploring. They see the Jedi dead bodies and stuff like that, and then you get the fucking light whip. Oh, a bug tries to come in, and then and that's it. That's all you get of the fucking whip. It's just like, God, you guys are such idiots with this fucking weapon. And again, there really is no other reason to show them that the dead bodies other than, look, they're actually dead. Again, what's the process with that? Are they gonna like pick them up, take them into their ship, or are they gonna have someone else retrieve the bodies? Just, from there, we no longer get any other portion of that, of them on Kofir or whatever. We cut back to Osha and Kylo Ren, whatever, and he's basically offering her food. He's eating some soup that he made and all this stuff, and basically he's explaining cortosis, the metal that some people would know from like Knights of the Old Republic and all that stuff, how this metal is special that it can deflect lightsabers, and also it's a kind of chamber, whatchamacallit. So he's explaining how like the helmet is able to stop Force users or anything from reading their minds and stuff like that. And so this is, again, and you even see that there's bits of that metal in the cave, so he should be able to mine this fucking thing and be able to put it into more armor, but he doesn't. Mind you, cortosis is supposed to be really brittle, that's why he's welding it back together, because it already was cracking and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, no, we're just gonna not use the metal more. Yes, brittle, it's the light metal, should be able to use it, kind of like gold in a way, but yeah. And so he tempts her with saying that, like, you know, you should try it. It just lets you get in tune with the Force. And then after we get another cutscene of back to May and Sol, she's all chained up, tied or whatever. And then he's finally like, okay, I'm gonna explain what happened and this and that. And then just before he starts explaining, cut from them to no. And from there, he ends up basically taking, we cut from that to Osha and Smiler Red, where, well, now it's no longer Smiler Red there, Kumir, it's just Osha. And so she sees the helmet, and she's now being tempted to put it on, and just, you know, she ends up putting it on, starts breathing heavily, and then that's it. That's all we get. So it's just like, okay, so you're basically falling into the dark side now. The character writing in this is just stupid. It's not going really anywhere. Whatchamacallit. But yeah, this episode really had a lot of nothing going on with it. Basically read as a soap opera. And right before Sol can explain, and he had the whole episode to say what was going on, they wait till the end. So now there's going to be another episode where we're probably going to get a flashback about what happened, what the actual story apparently was with Brendok and all that stuff. So it's just kind of redundant at this point. But yeah, that's episode 6 of the Acolyte. Let me know what y'all think about this episode, especially about the whole Kamir baiting scene or whatever. Just really awkward. Yeah, or even if you're not gonna join me, at least let me put my clothes back on. It's just like so weird. Yeah, it's just a weird situation. But yeah, that being said, one more thing. This is the person that is made Star Wars, and is a little bit of a funny clip, but again, no favorite movie. Just I'll let it speak for itself.
Yeah. I am the type of Star Wars fan that doesn't even have a favorite movie. I just want to live in the universe of Star Wars continually, in perpetuity, forever. So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie. There is only Star Wars.
This is somebody. This is
writing a Star Wars movie.
Oh, please, Queen Kathleen Kennedy.
And I want you to get out of this office right now. I don't want you here.
I love that.
That's the person who is just bending the knee to Kathleen Kennedy, doesn't want to try anything different, as far as making a unique story in the Star Wars universe and honoring homage to the prequels or the original trilogy. Now we're just breaking the lore, breaking continuity. It's just people that don't care. But yeah, that being said, Asian Nagami signing out. Y'all have a good night, good morning, and good evening. We'll catch you next time. Bye. Say bye. Bye.